Hi, I'm Amy Schaefer, the estate chef here at Skipstone in Alexander Valley. Today I've paired a dish of polenta lasagna with braised beef ribs and layered with the mushroom bechamel and wild mushrooms. And with our new release, the 2008 Oliver's Blend, I thought it would really enhance all the wonderful qualities of the wine. We've got the 94% Cab and the 6% Cab Franc. So I've drawn the earthiness of the mushrooms for the Cab Franc and the rich, bold flavors of the Cabernet with the braised beef. So I'd like to show you how I prepared this so you can share this dish with your family and friends. So I've heated up this Dutch oven, good and hot to brown the short ribs. It's good to be patient when you're doing this. You want them good and brown on all sides. So it does take a few minutes. You want them to have a lot of space in between. And I've got my mise en place here. It's always good to have everything ready. First thing you're taught in culinary school is mise en place, everything in its place. So I've got all the other components for the braised short ribs here, including Oliver's Blend 2008 Skipstone. So that's good, nice color on that. I'll flip these over now. I chose this dish because this is just the ultimate comfort food to me, and it goes really nicely with the Oliver's Blend. So when they're good and browned, I'm going to just put them in the pan and drain off some of the fat. And then I'll turn down the heat to cook the mirepoix. I'm lowering the heat now, and I'm going to add the onions. Again, it is so nice to have all the ingredients ready to go, then you know you don't forget anything. So you just want to cook these until they're nice and soft. And then after these get soft, I'm going to add the tomato paste and cook that down a little bit with the vegetables. Stir that around. And after that, I'm going to deglaze with the Cabernet. Stir up that, get the bits, any brown bits on the bottom. And then I'll add the beef stock and the crushed tomatoes. You can use them from the garden if you'd like to, or canned tomatoes works just as well, especially in the wintertime. And then once it's simmering, we're going to add the beef back into the braising liquid. So I'm going to add the meat back. And then you can finish this and braise on the stove top, or you could put it into a 325-degree oven. Sometimes the cooktops are just a little too hot. They boil instead of simmer, so it works fabulous either way. This takes about 3 hours to braise, and check on them every half hour or so and turn them, make sure they're in the liquid. So now that that's coming to a little simmer, I'm going to cover that and let that simmer on the stovetop, and then after 3 hours, you'll have this lovely dish of meat falling off the bone. So we're going to let that cool a little bit, and I'll shred that for the lasagna. So this is a very easy recipe. I've got just 6 cups of water boiling with salt and pepper, and I'm going to gradually add the polenta and whisk it in so you avoid all the lumps. There we go. Polenta is so versatile. I love cooking with it. So I'm just going to stir that and then switch to a wooden spoon or a rubber spatula. So that just comes to a boil, and then you'll cook this for about 20 minutes until it's nice and thick. Then we'll add the cheese and butter. We're going to finish this polenta now that it's cooked. It's finished. It's creamy, right texture. I'm going to add the cheese to it. This is the mixture. I've combined the 2 cheeses, Gruyere and Parmesan, and a little bit of butter. I always use unsalted butter because I'd rather be in control of how much salt I add to it, whereas if you have the salted butter, you have no control. So stir that up nice and smooth. So once it's all incorporated, I'm going to pour it into a lightly oiled pan to a thin layer. You might have a little extra, so you could always pour it into another pan too, to make some more noodles, so to speak. Some cracked pepper in there. So it's just really nicely how it spreads. The glass dish is nice so you can see actually how thick it is too. So next I will saute the mushrooms, the wild mushrooms I've prepared already. So these are shiitake and oyster mushrooms. And I'll add the herbs. And I have a mixture of fresh parsley and thyme that I picked on the property. And we'll move on to the bechamel. So I've got the butter melted in the pan here. So that's heated up, melted. I'm gonna add the flour and just add that in. Actually, stir that and cook the flour in the butter, make a roux. So cook that a few minutes. And I'll whisk in the whole milk. As you can see, the bechamel is thickening up nicely. I seasoned it a little bit with salt and pepper. And now that it's thickening up, I'm going to add the sauteed mushrooms and herbs. Stir that in. Now we're ready to assemble the lasagna. So again, I've got my mise en place here for the lasagna. I thought we'd do a casserole dish, and then you could always, if you have these little adorable little dishes, to do individual lasagnas as well. And I've already cut out some rounds of polenta for those. And I'm just gonna do 2 layers of polenta. It's so rich, you don't need a whole lot. It wouldn't go too thick. So I'm just gonna do a thin layer of sauce on the bottom. And then I'll lay a polenta on top. Hopefully this should fit just right. If it breaks, don't worry, it just pieces together. Stress-free lasagna. There. And I'll do a layer of the bechamel. Adds a little richness, extra richness to the lasagna. And then we'll put the meat on. Excuse my hands, sometimes it's just easier doing it with your hands and washing them a lot. I tried to take out the fat already on the bones, but as you can see, they came right off the bones after 3 hours of cooking, just the way they're supposed to. And I've preheated the oven to 350. Just cover that with some sauce and cheese. You can't go wrong any way you assemble this. It'll taste delicious. And a little bit of cheese on top. So put it in the oven, and if it looks like it's getting too brown, just put some foil over it. There we go. And pop it in the oven. All right, we're ready to take it out of the oven. Got the lasagna's bubbling and ready to go. Bon appetit.